In this chapter, we'll cover instructions to be used when installing the InFlow vent at the eave of a roof. The process involves 4 steps: installing a layer of underlayment, locating and cutting the vent opening in the roof, installing the vent, and installing the remaining underlayment and shingles. First, we'll need to locate and cut the vent slot. Begin by nailing a drip edge along the entire length of the eave according to local code requirements. Measure up 6.5 inches from the drip edge and make a mark. Make a second mark 1.5 inches above the first. Finally, mark the roof 6 inches in from each gable end wall to identify the ends of the vent slot opening. Now snap a chalk line down the length of the roof on the marks you just made. Using a circular saw with the depth set to the thickness of the roof deck, cut and remove all materials from the vent slot opening. Look inside the slot to be certain that any attic insulation is at least 1 inch below the surface of the roof deck to assure proper ventilation. Install a minimum 18-inch wide piece of underlayment starting at the eave edge. This will cover the slot opening and protect the roof deck below the vent. Identify the location of the slot opening beneath the underlayment and cut out the slot using a sharp utility knife. Now we're ready to install the first section of InFlow Vent. There's an alignment notch near the air intake on each unit. Position the first vent flush with the rake edge, with the alignment notch even with the eave edge. This will ensure the vent overhangs the eave edge by 1 inch, allowing air intake through the bottom of the InFlow vent. Using the nails provided, hand nail the InFlow vent in place, using the built-in nail holes. Continue installing vents flush with each other from rake edge to rake edge. When installing the final vent, cut away the non-rake edge of the vent if necessary to ensure a factory finished edge is flush with the rake edge. If you're installing a section at the intersection of a roof valley, a handy tip is to place a section on the roof in the position as shown. Then measure the distance from the top edge to the roof valley. Mark that distance on the bottom of the vent and draw a line to the top outside edge. Cut away the marked section. Repeat the process on the adjoining vent, and you'll have a perfectly aligned joint. Once all the InFlow vents have been installed, place an underlayment or weatherlock ice and water barrier over all vents at the eave, and at the rake edges per local code requirements. Make certain the bottom of the underlayment is flush with the lip at the lower edge of the vent. You should completely cover the top openings, as air intake occurs through the bottom of the vent with an eave installation. Finish installing an approved underlayment over the entire roof per the shingle manufacturer's instructions. With the underlayment in place, install rake edge metal over the entire rake, including the InFlow vent. Rake edge metal with a 1.25 inch minimum vertical leg will completely conceal the factory finished edge of the InFlow vent. Hand nail the starter and first course of shingles on top of the vent using the 3-inch nails that are provided. Be sure that all nails fully penetrate the wood deck, and don't drive nails within the vent slot opening. You can now continue to install the shingle system. Once beyond the InFlow vent, a nail gun and standard roofing nails can be used to install shingle courses, according to the shingle manufacturer's specification. This completes the installation of the InFlow vent in an eave application. In some cases, eave installation is not possible, and you will need to place the vent further up the roof. We'll cover that process in the next chapter.